Have no fear, Hippie Hero is here. Today we will be doing a response video to the Fate Banette. He's been talking about Weave Attunement, Franklin's demise, so we'll see what he has to say and see what all good points he makes.
Extremely popular combo at the moment. For those who don't know, and I don't know how you don't,
Hmm.
the way this works is Franklin's Demise makes it so that when you basic attack a survivor, they drop their item and the item starts depleting. And Weave Attunement makes it so that when an item is dropped, it also causes items to drop if they're depleted. But if an item is dropped, there's an aura ring around it of 12 meters that if the survivor walks into it, you see their aura permanently while they're in the range.
Just like a
Now,
radar.
this combo has been infecting, for lack of a better word, infecting the game pretty heavily as of late. Now, before we get into my actual opinions on this, I do want to go into why I think it has started to become more prevalent. I think the pop pain res nerf definitely made it so killers that would normally be running those can't as much as reliably as they were, so they were looking for other ways to maybe help their chase out to shorten the game and keep the momentum and the pace going. I think, one, the fact that it's new is helping, and I think the biggest thing is I think this was more of a wake-up call to realize how good Franklin's Demise on its own actually is. Because personally, when people were talking about it on the PTB, and I remember this very distinctly, people said Weave Attunement, even combined with Franklin's, wasn't going to be that good. No one was really using it on PTB. No one was really talking about it. People said all of Vecna's perks were not going to be that good. I remember this very distinctly. And if you have proof to say otherwise, go right ahead and send it to me.
Yeah, I will say a thing about Vecna's perks is like Weave Attunement is pretty useful. He had like Dart Arrogance, which is you get stunned for longer but vault faster, so that's pretty good. And then he had one more that I don't think I really seen that much. I forget off the top of my head. Um, but I did not like a majority of his perks, like Weave Attunement. Oh, it was the third part was it makes survivors exhausted based off of crows, which I feel like would be a great perk, but needs something to go along with it other than just spies in the shadows. Because when it's just spies with the shadows, it doesn't really get a lot of value. Because spies is one of those perks that it it's kind of hard to figure out when you actually need to go because it's hard to figure out the distance of how far the survivor is away. You're gonna get the notification, you know they're within like 36 meters, but 36 meters is a lot. That is a significant amount, and a lot of times they'll go off and then they'll already be gone by the time you get to a notification. So, um, I wish Vecna's like Crow's perk was able to exhaust some more so that you would have some type of more value out of it. Or overall just increase the duration of status effects. I feel like increasing the duration of status effects would be a significant improvement and go with a lot more builds. But yeah, back to what you're saying about Weave Attunement.
I will eat my words. But from my recollection, no one was really calling out this perk or any of Vecna's perk. I have a feeling Lingwood Touch is going to be into a similar boat very, very soon. But back to the topic at hand of Franklin's and Weave. I tried on stream for about an hour and a half. I also tried about 2 hours after stream to get footage of me using this because I don't really use this combo because Chucky isn't that great of a user with it. However, during that time, I was unable to get anything I would consider decent footage of it. And I will go over why. And this is why I don't think Franklin's Weave is as bad as people are saying it is. Either A, the survivors wouldn't bring any items, so I had two dead perks that didn't do anything. B, the survivors would realize I had the perk and give up immediately.
What Survivor lobby was that? Because I feel like I always see survivors bring items. It's very, very rare that I don't see survivor bring an item. Like I can go several games and always see survivors bring items. So it's kind of strange.
C, survivors would realize I had the perk and just put the items in a corner somewhere or just drop them on the spot so I didn't get any use of it during the match. Like, it was one of these three things happening. Now, one of those, the giving up thing, I'm not even really going to count. That's more of just, in my opinion, people being babies about playing against something and not wanting to even try. That one's more annoying than the other two. The other two, though, I do want to say are the counters to this perk. This perk combo is virtually useless if you do either of these two things. Now, I understand it's very annoying because it means, oh, well, that means I can't use items or bring items and things like that. True, it does. I do agree with that. However, if the survivor side stops bringing items or starts doing the counterplay of putting the items in the corner, I can promise you the killers will stop bringing this perk combo. This is one of the few killer perk.
I will say I do like how this perk has a lot of counterplay. Like a lot of times whenever I even see it, I'll try to drop my item first during matches now, which is already kind of a waste of time sometimes, and then I'll just do a quick check, kind of like how you do your rune check very quickly. Um, so I'll check it to see if we have it. If we have it, I'll see about like putting it towards the location I can use it later on in the match. That's kind of far out, which in itself is kind of already a slowdown effect, kind of like how Plaything is not only like great for helping you sneak up on survivors, get the first initial hit, along with even helping you sometimes in chase too if you lose the chase temporary and then get back on them. It's also a great slowdown, and having to go to a corner of the map, it is a great slowdown. It's not like the most significant where it's overpowered, but it's still very good. And I will also say, like, I love how the Screech Cobblers from the event, the anniversary event, they also add an extra chest to the trowel, which makes survivors more tempted to pick up items. So, like, I feel like them releasing that Weave Attunement and Screech Cobblers on top of it, and even like the Laura Croft perk that's coming up with the update tomorrow. It works based off of chest too. I feel like releasing the Screech Cobblers with that chest effect was a very, very good effect and just added a lot of depth to the game, I would say.
Combos I can think of in the game that has the effect of its mere existence causing something to happen. And I really do think it's a necessary evil. Items, as many people have said over the years, have been getting out of hand. Flashlights are fine. I don't think flashlights are that big of a deal. I think medkits are in a weird situation right now. Keys are basically
They're
useless.
too
The big one
strong
is
because of the
toolboxes.
sloppy
We all
nerf.
know it. Even with the sabotage buff that they're trying to incentivize toolboxes to be more of a team play sabo thing rather than doing the objective faster, toolboxes have been getting a little out of hand, especially with a lot of the gym progression perks
I wish
that they keep
Sabbaths
adding.
were more
Cough, cough,
prevalent
specialist.
again.
Why they buffed it, I don't know. I thought it was fine at 3. Anyways, the thing here is, if Weave Attunement stays meta and survivors keep bringing items into the match and don't drop them in corners and make it so this combo can still get use, then of course killers are going to keep using it. However, if we get to a point to where survivors are thinking more critically of not stacking 4 items immediately in the lobby, or the moment the match starts, they check to see if Weave is there and then put the items in the corner so the
Oh,
killer still
Tinker.
doesn't have those two perks, then I feel like killers will stop bringing this perk as much. This combo is only as good as I feel survivors allow it to be. And I'm not trying to be mean with saying that.
I
I'm
would
just,
say
I'm just trying
always
to be
bring an
rational
item
here.
regardless. Like, items are just so
The
powerful,
closest equivalent I
even
can
if you
think
go
of
up
is,
against
and I know
Weave.
some people will hate me for this, but it's anti-tunnel perks. Anti-tunnel perks are only as powerful as the killer makes them. Sometimes there are exceptions to this, I understand, but for the most part, in general play, anti-tunnel perks are only as powerful as if the killer tunnels. I remember I did a video on Decisive Strike a very long time ago, and one of the top comments was someone saying, well, I don't want to bring Decisive Strike because what if the killer doesn't tunnel me, then it was useless. No, that's not the point of the perk. The point of the perk is anyway. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to get into that. We're not going to make this a decisive rant. My point is that if survivors start changing their gameplay to stop bringing as many items, not all of you have to stop, but bring maybe only 2 items in, double checking if Weave Attunement is there, and starting to play around the perk rather than complaining about it, that killers will stop bringing it, and it won't be as much of a thing and
He
more of a
was too late.
surprise that comes up when the killer sees there's 4 items in the lobby. More of an option for them. Similar to Lightborn, which has its own set of problems, which don't get me started on that. I made a whole video on that one too. In short, Lightborn shouldn't exist the way it does. It's stupid. Anyways, my thing with
Oh yeah,
this is, should it be
I feel
nerfed
like
though?
Lightborn should get
That
some type
is
of
the
buff.
question. That's the big question that everyone seems to not have a really good answer for.
Badborn should get some type of buff
And
too.
I'm going to be my normal, neutral Nancy self. Yes and no. Here is what I would change with these two perks: Franklin's Demise.
I cannot think of anything I would change from any of the perks. I feel like there's some of the most well balanced perks in the game currently. Um, like to me, it's just aura reading. Like I get that can be permanent, and it can be in a high traffic location, but I don't feel like it's that powerful. I think maybe the only thing it should do is if somebody is running Weave Attunement, maybe you should be able to at least see the aura of the item. But I feel like that should be a thing for most perks and powers in the game where you're just able to see the aura in white.
I think it only needs one change to make it good. I think that when you hit the survivor and they drop the item, they should get the aura of the
Oh,
item. That way they're able to pick it
he
back
says
up and
that
have
same
counterplay.
thing
This
I was
also means that
thinking.
when they're in the range of Weave Attunement, they know where the aura is coming from. Simple change. I think that could be perfect and help with those situations. Weave Attunement. This is the tougher one because I don't want to change most of its effects. There is one change I want to do to it, and I don't know if this would have to be
Did he say
conditional or
we
not, and
attunement
it would
twice?
apply to the Franklin's combination and synergy with it. It doesn't work on fully depleted items. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, how would Weave Attunement's normal effect work? Because people tend to forget about its normal effect. Instead of when the item's depleted, make it so they drop it when it's at 10%. That is it. That's it. That's my only change to it. That way, when you're using it with Franklin's, it's on a timer for that aura reading. It's not always there. That way, when the killer hits the item from your teammate out of Shack, if you wind up running Shack later in the match, maybe 2 minutes or so, you're not getting the constant aura reading because the item has been fully depleted. That's it. That's my.
See, I wouldn't do that because I feel like even if you run the combo, it still has just enough counterplay that would like be maybe a B or a possible A tier perk to begin with. I'm not a fan of like nerfing A tier perks. Like I want something to be strong but not overly strong. And I do not see that Weave Attunement Franklin's combo as being overly strong just because of the counterplay to it, which there is a lot of.
My only change to it. Now I know that the community's in a tizzy about these two. I get it. I do think it should be noted though that if the meta we're running into is Franklin's demise and Weave Attunement, and that's what we're complaining about, this game is in a better state than I think any of us realize.
Absolutely.
If the thing we are complaining about is an old perk that was almost never used with a new perk synergizing together in a way that can be countered in some way, shape, or form, I think we are in an okay spot with this game. Now, I would also
Yeah,
like to
we
know
are.
y'all's thoughts. Please don't rip me apart in the comments. I know my opinions on this are a little different. Once again, I wasn't able to get barely any footage on this. So my experience on this was a lot different than I feel like most people's are. And when I'm playing Survivor, I barely see it, if I'm perfectly honest with you guys. I don't bring items when I play
Same,
Survivor, so
same.
of course I barely see it.
Why don't you
Anyways,
bring
I love
items?
y'all. Have a good one.
Like,
Bye.
why don't you bring items? They're so good.
Damn it. I'll be
Um,
Yes, I do want to go in.
so with that last part being said, I'm very, very happy Weave Attunement exists because it's kind of gave all new life to old perks like Franklin's. Um, I also want to see that kind of happen with maybe some perk combos in the future. Two particular perks I can think of off the top of my head is Beast of Prey. Once hitting Bloodlust, you're undetectable, which I find to be a really, really cool effect. And I wish there was some type of perk that made Bloodlust take less time to get into. Given that would give you like a lesser speed bonus, probably like half the speed bonus, I still think that'd be a great perk. Combined with Beast of Prey, like I wish we had that synergy in future matches. And then the other perk I really wish we had some more synergy with is Deathbound, which is a very, very strange perk, which has kind of been very hard to get any type of value off of. It's kind of, and reading it, it's like a doctor description. But basically, when a survivor heals like more than I believe 32 meters away, um, the person who healed them becomes oblivious for I believe 60 seconds. And I feel like there should be something that synergizes that will allow you to see, oh, this person recently became oblivious. Like possibly is some type of very, very quick aura reading that you could pair with lethal. Just so you could see people who maybe received recent status effects. I would love to just see something happen with Deathbound because I always thought it was kind of a cool concept thinking about giving neck to status effects to people outside your terror radius. So I would love to see that happen in a video. And yeah, I'm glad Fate Banette made this video. I love a lot of the content he creates. He creates some wonderful content, very insightful. I particularly enjoy his interviews with Killer Mains and just all his opinions. I can agree with pretty much for the most part. Um, so yep, big shout out to him. Drop a sub, do a like, and I hope to see you all around. Have a good day.